Police operations aimed at recovering some of the looted goods from last week's unrest continue across Gauteng and KZN, but there have been concerns as to whether they're a violation of human rights. Well, to discuss this in greater detail, we're joined now by SA Human Rights Commissioner Chris Nissen. Chris, you know, we were watching the raids yesterday and the police had no warrants. The presidency said that they were relying on Section 22 of the Criminal Procedure Act. And as far as I know, that act is quite narrow. You would have to either have seen the commission of a crime in plain sight, or the obtaining of a warrant from a magistrate would have to jeopardize the operation and the reclaiming of the evidence somehow in order for a warrant not to be needed.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers. Yes, indeed, but also there must be reasonable suspicion that there are stolen goods or there are illegal activity happening in that place. Our concern, however, is just not whether they've got a warrant or not a warrant, but not all people in that area were looters. All people, or black people, are looters. No, you can't treat every house to be of suspicion and say this is a house where there is stolen goods. And secondly, it's your approach. It's how you approach. You can't just break open the doors and do damage to people's meager belongings. I think it's the approach that we're also concerned about.
Chris, there were instances where there were people not even at home, and the police and SANDF accompanying them were just breaking into their homes. I can't see this happening in a middle-class suburb, can you?
Not at all. And I think this is the problem that we face in South Africa today. The poor and those in very vulnerable positions and the unemployed and so on, you know, somehow feel so disempowered because things get done to them. But at the same time, also there's an attitude that, you know, when it comes to the poor and the disempowered and the vulnerable, we can just do anything because we are the law. And I think that's completely unacceptable. Everybody in this country must be given the necessary respect and treated with the necessary respect and the dignity that they deserve. And therefore, I mean, just because people don't have access to high-fly lawyers and have money to pay for legal fees for lawyers that can immediately institute an action, and this is the problem that we face, that the poor in this country and those who are vulnerable are still facing the unfair discrimination, even from a from a law enforcement side.
And you would hope that lawlessness would be treated in accordance lawfully.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The commission is saying, you know, the law must take its course. Those who stole and those who loot, and it can be proven, they must face justice. They must face the fact that their acts were criminally inspired, and the law must take its course in that regard. But within that, even if a person has acted unlawfully and does everything that created the crime scene, the law enforcement agents must still act within the confines of the law. But also there's the spirit of the law. There's the letter of the law and there's the spirit of the law. And the spirit of the law says not everybody that you see is a criminal. Not everybody you see, every house is where stolen goods are. In fact, the South African Council of Churches has called upon people, in which we feel it's the right thing. So those who have stolen property, please return it. Please return those stolen properties. So the fact of the matter is, yes, those who acted criminally, the law must take its course, but respect people's dignity and respect people's houses. You have to knock. You can't just kick a door open. And especially if people are not there, you have to find out where are the relatives so that they can come and open for you.
Chris, I was looking up some of the search and seizure jurisprudence that we have in this country, and there was a case in the Constitutional Court, and maybe this will resonate with you. Kubomvu is the warning that a lookout would sound on the arrival of police at one of the other homes that had the misfortune of being subjected to frequent warrantless police searches. To the apartheid state, the oppressed majority had no privacy to be protected and no dignity to be respected. It just feels just wrong watching those visuals yesterday, although one has to feel some sympathy with the police, considering that they've been given a mandate. It's a balancing act.
Of course, I mean, obviously, the whole issue in our country today is really, and that's why the Human Rights Commission has been involved with South African police services in trying to foster and build a policing with a human rights culture. I think we are not there yet. We are busy building up to it. And there are very good men and women within the South African police services that do within the confines of the law and in the confines of their mandate. However, we must also say that no circumstance can, in this case, with where we do, certain seizures, that we have to treat people in an undignified way. Because we've seen that, we've gone through that, we have seen that. I mean, even mosques at that times, you will recall, Annika, that mosques went in and they went with their shoes in the mosque without the warrant and caused a lot of problems in the past. In the past, we were treated like nothing. And our homes, our places were places where they could come in any time of the day or night and trample and trash the day. But this is also a message to us all in South Africa. Even if you're poor and even you're vulnerable, you don't have to take this lying down. You can go and complain, go to IPID, go and make up a case at the local police station. If your house has been damaged, go and make a complaint, lay a charge at the local police station and let IPID get involved.
Can you do anything, Chris, as the SA Human Rights Commission?
Certainly. As the Commission, as we speak, we are now in a Imbizo. And in that Imbizo, one of the things we're looking at, what is it that the Human Rights Commission must further do? So we've got a number of issues. As you will recall, the President of the Republic of South Africa has asked us to look into matters, specifically into Phoenix, but also we look at possibly look at it nationally and say that we need to ask ourselves what went wrong, what can we do, and what can we do? What did we do, and what are we going to do further? The Gauteng office of the Southern Human Rights Commission, under the leadership of the provincial manager, Wang Jones, is looking into this matter.
Thank you so much, SA Human Rights Commissioner Chris Nissen, looking into the failure of many police to have warrants when taking back goods from people's homes all around the country, suspected looters, who Chris Nissen there says could be victims of racial profiling.